Start recording. There we go. Now I'm gonna double check, make sure I'm live. Okay. Looks to me that I am live. Cool. Gonna grab the link. Copy link. Yay. And then I go down the fucking list of socials, so I do this. Post. Not even bloody close. Sure, double posty sounds great. Paste. Okay. And then I go to meta. Paste. Post. Yay! Phew! Sorry. Oh my god. Now we'll go over to Discord. So I can post in the group frickin' chat that refuses to pop up for some bloody reason. Okay, yeah, I decided to do more of Higarshi today, so yay. Non-affiliate going on, yeah. Paste. Full skis. And hello! Yes, I see you there, Padme, love. And now we will get started. Okay. Time to load a file. Yay, the music's back. I love the music in this game. Next, I look over at Rika-chan, who is working diligently on some kanji drills. In contrast to Sadako, he holds standards, was meek and gentle. If Rika-chan came to me saying, "Oni-senpai" with a star, I'd hug her tightly. I could get used to that. Keiichi-kun, you're drooling. Sorry. Then how about Rika-chan? Are you saying that her appearance is deceiving as well? Saying that out loud, I felt a tinge of doubt. Was Rika-chan really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she really was quite sly, sweetly. How do you put it? Evading things deftly? I get the feeling that Rika-chan isn't only just sweet. Her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put exactly what I was imagining into words, but I'm gonna manage to say what I wanted to. Oh, damn it. I did the wrong voice. Ah! I get it. Feeling that Rika-chan isn't only just sweet. Her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put exactly what I managed to, so we're gonna manage to say what I wanted to. She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, you should say something like that. Wait, what? When Rika-chan grows up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty with men wrapped around her little finger. Don't you think that'd be cool? Rena said that with a lightheartedly, but as a man, couldn't laugh at that. The scary part about that was just that it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, Rika-chan turned towards me and let loose an angelic smile. Both Ren and I, feeling as if that was directed towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat. Oh, so cute! So cute! That's my best Rena voice, guys. Come on. Rena, your nose is bleeding. Appearances can be deceiving, huh? Well then, what about our dear, glorious leader, Neon? I stared at her as if she tried to weasel out of her scolding by the teacher. But Rena's theory that unrefined, calculating, conniving Neon always had a side of her that delayed appearances. Then what you're saying is that Neon, despite her appearance, is actually a good person? Mi-chan is a good person. Oh, well, that is true. What I'm trying to say is... Yep. I know what you're trying to say, Keiichi-kun. Catching on that I was struggling to express my feelings as words, Rena smiled all the more brightly. Know what? Mi-chan is mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's right. Neon is more than aware of that she was a girl, but it was exactly as Rena said. When Neon livened up the room, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or girl specifically, but a friend of the same gender. If she were a guy, we'd probably be like two peas in a pod. Although that's the same way it is right now. But you see, even that Mi-chan is actually really feminine. Rena, how much did Neon pay you exactly? That's not true! Geez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation now, you know? Rena began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Mi-chan is the club president. She's also trying really hard to lead everybody, but she's really a very cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi-kun. Rena's gaze focused off to the distance beyond where Neon was. The Neon I met at Angel Morgue was unimaginably different compared to the Neon I normally knew. Because it isn't Neon, you idiot. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job, it was a far cry from the brash and confident Neon. Even though she had to hurry to work, she went to all the trouble of bringing me food when I was on the brink of starvation. But she did not as Neon, but as Shion. What exactly was Shion to Neon? What kind of person was Neon exactly? Keiichi probably didn't begin to imagine. As if to say it was our little secret, Rena held her finger up to her lips as she giggled. Neon, finally free from the teacher's preaching, returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide her embarrassment. This old man, you see, thinks that great school's enough for everything you need to study for in life. Saying that, she plopped down in her seat violently. Miona was actually really feminine, right? I was wondering if I could meet Shion again. I want to talk to her again. Clang, clang. The principal waved around a bell that served as the school chime. The teachers rushed back to the blackboard and began listing everybody's homework assignments. Whoa! Looks like there's gonna be a lot of homework today. Gotta buckle down. Well then, that means even Rena? Huh? What do you mean? Appearances can be deceiving. Would that apply to you too? Huh? Keiichi-kun, how do you see me? How? The Rena Ryuga I knew, sometimes took things too far, but was generally a kind and gentle, ideal girl. Really? Then that makes me happy, I guess. If she was the opposite of what she seemed, that would make her. If I were really the opposite... Just try saying it, I won't be mad. That's what I felt she meant. Rena is. Rena is? Even if you were the opposite, you'd still be Rena, right? This question shouldn't be so nerve-wracking to answer. Maybe it was just because the person in question was staring at me, but even saying that took a strange amount of effort. That's not fair, Keiichi-kun. It bothers me when you say it that way. How? Perhaps unable to endure my silence, Rena's face began to burn red with embarrassment. Rena! Keiichi-chan! Keiichi-chan! Let's go home. Mion walked over and started getting ready to go home. Whenever her school is over, she really does get noticeably more energetic. Hell, that was me back in high school and elementary and college, so yeah. It was like the same relaxing walk home as always. Digging around my pockets on a whim, I noticed something that should have been there was missing. What's the matter, Kei-chan? The key to my house I always carry around is gone. Man, where did I lose it? It's fine today since my parents are home, but still, this is bad. That sure is troublesome. Did you forget it somewhere? Or did you drop it? Which one was it? I did take it with me this morning in the first place. Huh? Hey, Chan, did that key have anything that would make it stand out? Yeah, it's on a keychain. It was a blue fur seal, something I made for summer homework a long time ago. Huh? Does it have its eyes shut like it's taking a nap? Oh, how did you know? Yeah, that's it. Mion looked away and began to whistle. See, you went for dinner at Angel Mort a couple days ago, right? That night the staff found a key, and there was a fur seal keychain attached to it. As she said that, she suddenly grew flustered and added, Shion had told her about it. Huh? So I dropped it then. Aren't you glad you found it? I'm sure they're looking after it for you. That's right. Why don't you go? Shion looks the same as me, so you'll know her by sight. This was rather unexpected development. Once again, I had no choice to go and meet with Shion. But I also had to thank her for the bento from yesterday. Taking some time and chatting with this half-jokingly, I began to think about the things like that. Right. Angel Mort, was it? I'll head over to Shion's restaurant and get my key back. While I'm at it, having a nice spot of tea might not be a bad idea. You sound like an English gentleman. That totally doesn't suit Kei-chan at all. Is this the restaurant the one that Mi-chan's little sister works at? Yeah, why don't we go together, Rena? Sorry to disappoint you, I have plans with my father today. Some other time. Rena seemed pretty disappointed about having to miss such an opportunity. You said they're twins, but do they really look that much alike? Enough to mistake which is which? Yeah, they're totally the same. At least on the outside. Unlike Mion, she's well-mannered and really cute, though. In response to my teasing, Mion pouted and began to argue with me. I couldn't help but burst out and laugh at Mion's little farce. After all, they weren't just identical, they were the same person. Are they now? Okay, let's go. After going home, I changed my clothes and dug my bike out of the garage. Just thinking that I'd be able to meet Shion again gave me a serious feeling. Shion, a name for a different kind of Mion. She was a mysterious and ridiculous person, believing she had fooled everyone. I noticed I was pedaling along quite happily. Could it be I was looking forward to meeting Shion? I felt a sense of giddy anticipation, like I was heading towards a new friend's house for the first time. What Rena said about Mion actually began being really feminine, really sprang to mind once again. The guilt from spying on the other side of Mion, the self-consciousness of being the only one that knew about that side, these feelings mixed together. That was Shion for you, Mion's little twin sister. Until she felt like coming out and admitting she was Mion, it was fine to just call her Shion, right? Mion might be trying to have some fun by acting out a different persona. I love how Keiichi is completely convinced that it's a thing. As you reach the top of the steep hill, the horizon expands before you, almost at the station. Last time I wasn't embarrassed since I was here with my dad, because when I was alone, I was strangely self-conscious about it. Meet Shion, get my key back. That's all this task was supposed to be. If I dawdled around like this, maybe Shion would find me before she headed in for work. Hey, what you doing, Keiichi Mahabara? You're just here to get your key back, right? You know, it's not like you're some love-struck schoolboy here to hand over a love letter. The thoughts in my head were slowly turning into a jumbled mess. I came to realize I was downright giddy. That's why for just a tiny little bit, I got a little carried away and did something really stupid. I kicked over a parked motorcycle that was blocking the sidewalk. It was in the way, sure, but there was absolutely no need for me to kick it. I definitely think I got carried away. Then clunk, crash. All three bikes toppled over, one after another, like dominoes. The loud noises snapped me back to my senses. Oh shit! The hell you think you're doing? The owners of those three bikes were right there. They look exactly like what you call thugs up to no good. They lifted their heads up in an imposing manner, and yelled angrily in a way I'd never heard before. The three of line beelined towards me, the worn-down heels of their thin-soled shoes slapping noisily against the pavement. I could only stare listlessly, as if I were watching some far-off event that didn't concern me at all. By the time I realized that I'd been grabbed by the collar and lifted onto my tippy-toes. Don't be playing dumb. You knocked him over, didn't ya? Huh? The three thugs were completely ignoring the rules of grammar, but the way they spoke was enough to make me tremble. Just like that, my composure drained away. My legs buckling, my throat grew dry enough to crack. I'm sorry, I accidentally my ass. You kicked me, don't you, dumbass. I was completely at fault, so there was nothing I could say in my defense. As a result, I was pulled even higher. I didn't think that was possible. The hell, man? The pathos scuffed. You brat! Who put you up to this, eh? This is your damn fault! The three of them continued to yell at me. I had no idea what each of them were saying. Getting further enraged that I was only listening while dumbstruck, they grabbed an empty plastic crate from a nearby store and began smashing it repeatedly against the telephone line. Why? Cracks formed on the crate, plastic shards flying everywhere. Then they slammed full force into the shattered storefront. Smash! The shutters let out a frighteningly loud noise, as they should. Still not satisfied, they flipped over a case of empty cans and scattered the contents all over the place. This was not normal. This was something you saw often on television or manga, but I never thought I'd see it in person would be this terrifying. I became painfully aware of the safety of civilized society was only held by such a frail concept as morals. My knees clattered together noisily. Static began to pepper my vision. This is what you call absolute terror. There was nothing I could do to stop this frightening spectacle of violence. I could only pray for help. The fear I felt was too much. Would somebody help me? My gaze floundered about the surrounding area. And now we're just babbling. I was surrounded by these three hoodlums. No way was there any passerby brave enough to intervene. Maybe this is what you call reaping what you sow. If I were a passerby, there'd be no doubt I'd be ignored what was going on. This is somewhat of a positive retribution. Fucking say something! I fucking stabbed you! Angry yelling enough to rattle my eardrums spewed forth right in front of my face. My waning consciousness was forcibly dragged back to the forefront. The thug that cocked back his free hand twisted his body when something metallic taste filtered into the back of my throat. A chill ran down my spine, like a jolt of electricity. Seeing what was going to happen next, I squeezed my eyes shut as tightly as possible and grit my teeth. And so ends Keiichi. You're making quite a racket, you stupid pieces of trash. Get out of my sight! That voice was a short distance away. Still holding me by the collar, the three thugs spun around to look behind me. Oh shit! The fuck you say? Standing there was Shion. I mean Mion. She stood there displaying an imposing stature that I'd never seen before. She didn't have the same look on her face as she did when we were playing around during the club. Those were the eyes that instilled fear in anyone who looked upon them, the eyes of a raptor. Velociraptor? They were the epitome of terror. At the same time, they were the most reassuring thing in the whole world. I'll only say this one more time. Let go Keichon and get lost. Mion, without an ounce of fear, laid down her ultimatum. Of course, there was no way those three wouldn't go absolutely berserk. The situation instantly turned explosively dangerous. You fucking bitch! Oh, fucking bitch, you're hitting! Stop it, Mion. These guys are like rabid dogs. No amount of bluffing will work. Mion, it's dangerous. I'm sorry. I knew I wouldn't say what I was saying was pathetic, but I couldn't let Mion get involved in this. But how you looked at it, Mion was only bluffing. But did Mion even know the meaning of the word bluff? However, the reason behind it soon became apparent. They were slowly increasing in number, little by little. At first, it was only businessmen on the way home stopping to take a look. Then it was housewives in the middle of shopping taking a gander. Next, it seemed like the owner of the store showed up, and it was pretty clear he wasn't just looking. Around Neon, there was about 7 people gathered. It felt different from the people coming out to support a friend. If I had to say why, it was because the group had gathered were diverse in age and gender. The 3 thugs seemed to somewhat realize that there was something strange about the situation. Who the hell are these guys? Behind them, 4 more people of the different clothing and ages had gathered. A girl who looked like to be in middle school, a man wearing a bakery apron, an old lady, house cleaning smock, and more people of various ages, their gazes comparable to Neon's with hostility, of intimidation, before I realized that over 10 people had formed a ring around us. At that moment, 5 elementary schools ran in and joined the circle. There were some familiar faces. Some of our classmates. These people were residents of Hinamazawa? More and more people from Hinamazawa gathered around. In obvious contrast, the residents of Okonomiya were passing by as quickly as possible. The fuck are you guys? Go the fuck away! The group surrounding us suddenly swelled around 20 people. Completely encircled, the faces of the thugs began to show the signs of panic. Nobody spoke a word, Mion included. That made everything completely unnatural. Depending on which side you were on, completely terrifying. Only thugs' voices echoed like they were screaming. Somebody took a step forward, closing the gap between them. As they did, everybody took a step forward, shrinking the circle. The hoodlums went pale, and they were pushing together back to back, while still yelling angrily. They were trying to string together vulgarities, but for some reason it sounded like they were crying out for help. Alright. What's going on here? What's going on? It was sudden. A solidly built officer cut his way through the crowd. At some point, 2 police cars had arrived. Some passerby had undoubtedly called for them. Several burly officers appeared inside the second vehicle. Shit, son, you're just screwed. Oh, officer, good timing. There you go. Extortion is caught red-handed. Please arrest them. The fuck? Dispatch to what that up here? Mion returned to her usual self, was nonchalantly pointing out the hoodlums to the police. Of course the thugs were furious, but now that it came to this, there was nothing they could do. It was their loss. Okay. Come over here a sec. Come on already. The officers handcuffed the thugs and dragging them off towards the patrol cars. The fuck, let me go! We're the victims here! We listen, damn it! No matter how much of a ruckus they caused, officers paid no heed. In a blink of an eye, they were crammed inside the 2 vehicles. They could still be heard yelling while inside the police cars, but what they were saying were no longer intelligible. Are you alright? Are you injured? He was probably a detective. The man leading the police peered at my face. No, not really. Well, that's a bit of a silver lining then. Well then, have a good year. The portly man, after taking a quick look, addressed the crowd. Thank you, citizens, for your timely report. Thanks to your efforts, we were able to complete the beast today. It's a wonderful thing. Thanks for your hard work, Detective Oishi. Assistant, I thank you for your daily efforts. It's an honor for a detective from the first division way out here, all the way here. The way Shion talked didn't have a very pleasant tone. It was coincidence. I happened to hear the call over the radio in the back of the prefectural office. I just made a little detour. Please keep up the good work. I pray for success in your future endeavors. Oh, shucks. It's a good thing there were no ingredients, though. Oh, easy-san, we're done here. Let's go. Well then, have a good year. I'm sorry, could you make way? The detective named Oishi, after jokingly making pleasantries, lumbered over to the waiting police cars. He quickly set off, disappearing into the city street. It was over so quickly I was dumbstruck. I didn't get to ask the officer what was going on. It's like they came here to quickly disperse the mob before any troubles could start. Making sure the police cars had left, Leon snapped her fingers sharply. All right, that's a wrap. And don't come back. That was the signal. The tension melted in an instant as everyone began to smile. A middle-aged man helped me out. You call okay, young Barbara. Next time, pick up your fights a bit better. It's not like I wanted to fight. Are you hurt anywhere? Hit your head with a good idea to get an x-ray taken. An older lady I didn't know the name of was concerned about my injury. You're lucky this happened right in front of the station where it was busy, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to gather so many people. Next time, be more careful. City's kids these days are pretty unruly. Grumble, grumble. I was even warned by the old lady in the smock. As Shion finished, applauding the dispersing crowd for their efforts, she strode over to me. Well, you're pretty good, Kei-chan. But I also think you should be more careful with who you fight with. Thanks, Neon. You saved my bacon there. Like I said, I'm Shion. She made a troubled expression. She turned a gaze downward, blushing in embarrassment. I heard from my sister that her silky chain was yours, Kei-chan. Yeah, that's right. I was just heading to the restaurant. And you ended up getting so excited you got mixed up in something weird. Now it's my turn for my face to go red. I didn't want to admit it, but she was spot on. Well, I was just unlucky. You really saved me, Shion. You don't have to thank me, so if you see somebody getting bullied, help them out, okay? We value that kind of thing very highly here. I was well versed in that sense of camaraderie, but the way I was rescued just now seemed a little bit off about that. While I was helped out, it was honestly almost a disturbing degree. You're coming into the restaurant, right? You must be tired. Why don't you relax for a bit? My treat. It seems like she caught a glimmer of suspicion in my eyes. Without waiting for an answer, Shion began walking. Damn. Not feeling the Strimbo vibe there, buddy. After cooling off a bit inside the restaurant, little by little I realized I was still on edge. There were spots here, but they're on my body that hurt probably because I had been so stiff with nervousness. Shion, who had changed into her uniform, brought over 2 glasses of iced coffee. Here you go, iced coffee on the house. Just bring this coupon with you to the register, you'll leave no charge. My patheticness really knew no bounds. Since she went through the trouble, I might as well take her up on the offer. Even though it had started out as such a lovely day, I had to get carried away and do that stupid thing. I'd completely ruined it. But really, you saved my hide here. There, I really came to see you as reliable. Even I was a little scared. Kei-chan was in trouble, so... I knew. I kind of figured you liked iced coffee there, Padme. Kei-chan was in trouble. I had to be brave and do my best. Well, a little embarrassed by what she said, Shion made a show of folding her arms boldly. Shion, really, thank you. I was thanking Shion, but I really wanted to thank Mion. Mion really did thank you. Now, cheer up a little. If you feel indebted, then when you have the chance, you should help somebody in need. Like, for example, if I'm ever in trouble, please come and save me. Ah, yeah, of course. It's a promise. You absolutely have to. Taking advantage of my words, she seemed happy about my promise. So if I ever get in trouble, Kei-chan, you will come and save me? I hope trouble comes soon. Ah, you finally smiled. She said as she smiled herself, poking me in the cheek. A downtrodden Keiichi-chan isn't good as an imposter. Come on, smile, smile. That tickles! Stop it! Thanks to Shion's meddling, I finally cheered up a bit. All muscles in my body had stiffened because the instant began to relax a little. When you're in a better mood, why don't you get there? Tongue-tied! I can't do the dialogue now. When you're in a better mood, don't you get a little hungry? I'm kinda hungry, so you wanna eat something? Some pancakes or something? Do you want some too, Kei-chan? I want to show a little restraint, but restraint isn't really my thing. That's why I replied without any. They're good, right? I'm pretty picky when it comes to pancakes. I am the opposite of picky when it comes to pancakes. If I get to work early enough and the McDonald's is open, I will order pancakes and then take them to the break room to eat before my shift. Makes the day feel a bit better. Don't worry, our pancakes have a pretty good reputation. Shion orders some pancakes from a nearby waitress. There's also a pancakes place here in the city that I really want to check out if I wake up early enough on a day off. Shion orders some pancakes from a nearby waitress. An employee ordering from another employee seems kinda weird. Hey, speaking of that, wasn't Shion in the middle of a shift? She's just been slacking off while talking to me. I told my uncle you saved me when I was surrounded by hoodlums, so he's rewarding you. So I have the manager's permission. That's exactly the opposite of what happened. Is that alright? It's perfectly fine. By the time pancakes arrived, we had entered into a relaxed conversation. As the two of us ate our pancakes, we livened up the mood with some chit-chat. About what was on TV, celebrities, that kind of thing. Hobbies, food, really nothing more than idle chit-chat. Talking together like this, I once again became conscious of Shion being a girl. No, really, buddy? Really? Hey, now that's a funny talk, Keiichi Mahabara. Shion and Mion are the same person. If there's anything different between them, it's only whether or not Mion admits that she was Mion. But given that, how come our conversation was this different? Yes, you should notice that, Keiichi. Notice that they are different people. Kei-chan, you don't think of my sister as a girl, do you? That's not true. If she were a guy, I'd punch the living daylights out of her. I think the reason you guys get along so well is because you have this kind of platonic relationship. That's a pretty rare and enviable thing to have, don't you think? I don't get what you're saying, but it really wasn't a waste to treat her like a girl. Hey, Keiichi-chan, that's sexist. Hearing the word sexist was a cause for introspection. Was I prejudiced against Mion and Shion before? Mion was Mion. She was the best friend of a guy who could have no reservations head and head and shoulders above me when it came to club activities. If I'd met her 5 years earlier, my life would have probably been a lot more fun, and this I had no doubt. Then what about Shion? She was Mion's little sister and hadn't been 3 days since we met. Her relationship was much more distant, as the only thread we had in common was that I knew her sister. And for Shion, it was the same. I was somebody she met 3 days ago, only because I was a friend of her sister's. The difference between Mion and Shion? Friendliness? Familiarity? Playing around with those unclear thoughts for a while, I stopped listening to Shion. Hypothetically, okay, are you listening? Sorry. Yeah, I'm listening. This is just a hypothetical question, okay? Me and my sister both me and my sister are in trouble, okay? We're dangling off the side of the cliff. Which one of us do you save? You can only save one. She wasn't saying it to tease me, but had a playful tone behind her face. That's not a nice question. I want to save you both, but I can't do that, right? Right. Only save either Shion or Mion. Oh my god, the foreshadowing. Ugh. I missed it when I initially watched this in in anime, but now I catch it full now. Well, yeah, that's the maid outfit for her restaurant, the restaurant she works at. I personally think it's super cute, and yes, this exact outfit is in the anime entirely, so this scene's probably even better in the anime. But yeah, I really do like the shades of black and the tight little red tips on the very top, on the chest and arm area. I think those are really well drawn and well designed. That and my two favorite colors, red and black. So yay. If I were Neon, I don't think she'd be in that situation in the first place. It's something she could easily get out of herself. But about the normal frail Shion, I guess I'd have no choice. It's not my sister, right? If Mion and Shion were different people, I suppose it would come to that. I couldn't confirm or deny it. She should have been smiling, but her gaze was locked firmly to mine. In other words, that's it, isn't it? My sister is, Sorry, I messed up. What was I trying to say? Shion was trying to talk in a lighthearted manner, but I felt there was something more behind her words. Was Mion trying to tell me something through Shion? Not being able to put my finger on it exactly was vexing. Oh yeah, I know what's gonna happen later, and this is... holy crap, the foreshadowing. Shion, to hide her embarrassment, turned the conversation over. Hello, Gracie. How is my cuddle kitty? More importantly, just now, were you surprised that everybody kept showing up? Of course I was. If it were Ren or Sadako, that'd be one thing. But for all those people, young and old, to gather, they were all from Hinamizawa, right? Yeah, that's right. Everybody in Hinamizawa is pretty close-knit. An enemy of one is the enemy of all. Nobody is going to look on from the sidelines. And they're pretty reliable group of residents. If somebody had been picked on, then everybody would unite to get rid of fully. Kitty, you're just happy I'm paying attention to you. If somebody picked on everybody, it kind of sounds like the Mafia or Yakuza brand of United. You shouldn't say it like that. It's something you should be thankful for. You were saved by that unity, weren't you? Never forget to show your appreciation. I half-heartedly agreed. Because I'm right like a little furry angel. Okay. I half-heartedly agreed. I knew full well I should be appreciative. Everybody's really close-knit, aren't they? Maybe it's because tradition. Hinamizawa has been in danger of becoming a ghost town on several occasions. There's a history of villagers uniting against each other, fighting for villages' continued existence. For example, Keisha, you know about the Hinamizawa Dam project? Oh yeah! Keiichi finds out a different way about the dam project bullshit. And so begins the horror once again. Hinamizawa Dam project? Let's see. I feel like I've heard somebody talk about it before. About 10 years ago, there was a sudden proposal to build a dam here, which would have submerged Hinamizawa underwater. Oh, that story! I think I heard my dad talking about that. I'm pretty sure the plan was cancelled, right? We made them cancel it. Everybody banded together so that it was a well-earned victory. That sounded pretty much like the story I heard. The protests intensified to the point where they're featured in the magazines and newspapers. This is an interesting change from the other timeline, because in the prior arc, Keiichi basically had no information about this till I think he met the photographer character, and in this timeline, he's finding it out through his dad and kind of Shion here. That's an interesting change from the prior timeline. As a result, the plan was suspended. The whole story with the dam apparently started before I was born. At first, the proposal was only for exploratory purposes for small dam control erosion. But then the cat was let out of the bag. Hi, kitty. It was complete. If it were completed, it would have been the biggest dam in Japan, not just Hinamizawa, but several villages upstream would have been submerged as well. The protests began immediately. Petitions to cancel or relocate the project were drafted and submitted to the Diet Building. Even went as far as to go to Ministry of Construction in Tokyo to hand over a direct appeal to the minister. The previous landowner sued the government, stating there were inconsistencies in the purchase agreements and the transaction should be nullified. Owners of the yet unacquired land split their properties, increased the number of landowners in order to stifle the project. It was all very precious when the land acquisition was still about money. Eventually, there's no R there, so it wouldn't be precarious, even though I would just call it that. Eventually, they started relying on eminent domain in order to seize land. It was started at that point. The riot police began to get violent. Riot police? You mean the police? Why would they act violent? They punched. They kicked. There were times I was hit. Right around here, I think. My skin split open and a whole lot of blood came spilling out. Saying that, Shion indicated her temple by poking at it. What happened to the police? Filing a complaint against the riot police for police brutality would seem like this seemed kind of strange for some reason. Naturally, they wouldn't pay heed to something like that. They wouldn't be able to establish proof on what exactly hit you, or they could just justify their actions by saying you were interfering with police duties. My nana went off like a firework. After that, it was amazing. Like a full-scale war, we weren't just going to sit by and idly file complaints. We went on the offensive. First, in order to call attention to the government, they filed a temporary injunction in court. Then, in order to gain public support, they called the prominent scientists to state that Hinamizawa was a valuable nature preserve. They pressured the prefectural and municipal assemblies, saying that the prefectural governor ignored his constituents when he approved the project and demanded his resignation. They completely and thoroughly denounced him. Naturally, in Hinamizawa, a furious conflict worthy of being called the Dam War began. First, to suppress the police brutality, they coordinated with network channels and exposed the violence of the riot squad members to the public. On top of that, they put together a special expose themed around government repressing the citizens and aired it nationally. Jeez, they went really full tilt on the backstory for what the hell was going on politically on this particular version of the timeline. It worked wonders. Following that, the SWAT teams had their hands cuffed. Day after day, the petitions and demonstrations continued. Propaganda was used to help garner support. The circle of support gradually expanded outwards from Hinamizawa. Either that bore fruit, or the government finally decided against it. It was announced that the dam project was indefinitely suspended just a few years ago. We did everything we could. The entire village banded together and fought. At that time, we were desperate, but now it's over. It's actually become a pretty good memory. The villagers' feeling of solidarity and unity just still hadn't faded. Shion said that she focused off into the distance. I felt those eyes weren't filled with anguish, but rather a sense of pride. That kind of solidarity is pretty nice. You don't see it too often. Bridging the generation gap, unifying the region. I think so too. The dam project was a trial. I think that just the fact that we were able to overcome it is huge. The fear I was feeling until just now gradually began to fade. When people began to show up one after another while I was engaged with those thugs, I thought it was frightening. But now I felt from the bottom of my heart that I had been rude. The villagers prepared to defend their homeland to death. The sense of solidarity that fostered. It might seem impudent to say this, but I was a little jealous. If I'd been in Hinamizawa when the protest against the dam was going on, I might have been able to share in that sense of solidarity. Kei-chan, you weren't here at the time, so I don't think you fully felt the solidarity in the village, but everybody shares it, thoroughly. It was somebody who just moved here, like you, Kei-chan. She couldn't have been more right. So many people got together to help me out when I was just moved here. I know they were strangers whose names I didn't even know. A hot feeling began to well up inside me. When I lived in the city, I didn't even know my own neighbors. I thought that was natural, but here that was an absurd, pathetic thing. Even though I thought of them as strangers, all the other villagers viewed me as a comrade. Happiness and warmth. I was acutely aware of those feelings since they gradually welled up inside me. Sonozaki-san, the manager wants you to work the floor. A more senior waitress waved her hand and called out to Shion. It seemed like it was time for work. Okay, I'm coming. Sorry. Looks like I have to get to work now. It's fine. Thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun. Oh, are you going home? Yeah, my mom gets fussy if not home by dinner time. It seems like Shion wanted to say something, but she swallowed her words. Like we hadn't talked enough, that was the kind of feeling. Looking at that expression, I read it saying something like that had disappointed me unlike that. But I have to say, I could stay a bit longer when Shion got up from her seat. Here, use the coupon and should cover pancakes as well. Saying that, she showed me a coupon booklet as she tore a few sheets in hand with me. Convenient, isn't it? It's a perk I get on top of my salary. It's okay, I can pay for pancakes myself. Hey, being so reserved doesn't fit you, Kate-chan. If I were my sister, I would gladly let you pay for it. She said as she laughed and gently stopped me from opening my wallet. Even being told with such an encouraging smile really resounded with me. Sonozaki-san, sorry, could you take care of the register? Yes, right away. Later, today was fun. Saying that, Shion smiled more at me. Oh, Mion, thanks a lot for today. How are you doing? I really think that the return favor, I'm looking forward to it. After I said that, I realized my mistake. I called her Mion. I didn't know if she realized it or not. And the Higarshi are singing. Lazing around and watching television after dinner was part of my daily routine. It might seem like a waste at first glance, but you could say it's an important time when I was able to accrue knowledge of everything from politics to economics to various trivia. I feel that way, but I doubt I'm learning anything from fucking YouTube. Or Twitch, for that matter. After dinner was a valuable time spent while the brain was at most supplied with nutrients. You idiot, it's obviously the Tokyo Tower's dollar. Ah! Today I tested my knowledge of trivia by watching my weekly quiz show. Sitting in front of the television, I was able to get a lot of answers right. But if I were really up on stage, I'd probably fail miserably. Oh, I remember that. In the 90s. Less so the 80s, because I was born in 89, so I was just kind of an infant back then. I remember watching quiz shows and probably getting a lot of them wrong. Keiichi! Phone call from Sonozaki-san! Okay. Sonozaki? That's Neon! So late for her to be calling. I had a bad feeling about this. I had a hunch it was something to do with club activities. She was probably going to inform me of what we were doing tomorrow. This was Neon we're talking about. She might even go as far as to say we're doing club activities right now, but hurry up and come over. By the way, it's 8 p.m. Hello? No way are we having a club battle right now. Huh? That's not it. I mean, it was Neon, but it was a very un-Neon-like way of talking. How could it be? So sorry, could be you're not Neon, but Shion? That's right. Good evening. Sorry for calling so late. For Neon, this would have been an ill-fittingly polite way of talking. But since it was Shion, it was natural. Even though they were both the same person. I doubt they're the same person, Keiichi. I know for a fact that they are not. With a dry smile, I enjoyed this mysterious feeling. No, it's fine. What's up? Kei-chan, do you like sweets, like cakes or desserts? There's no way I hated them. I'm an unabashed glutton. I also like sweets and cakes and just ice cream and stuff. That's great! Actually, there's a new dessert contest this summer. Looks like they have a new dessert menu every season, so they were hiring taste testers for potential desserts. The desserts at Angel Orc have a good reputation. It's pretty difficult to get accepted as a taste tester. I'll get right to the point. Ta-da! You say ta-da, but I can't see over the phone. Oh, this is why I love cell phones. me to actually do that shit. Still, could it be? That's right! I have a taste testing ticket right here. You don't mind sweets, how about it? When you say how about it, you basically mean, with that ticket, I can eat all the new desserts I want. They say beware of honey pots, but this is sweeter than any pot of honey. All you can eat free dessert? No way! If you're okay with that, I'll register you as a taste tester. When you come to the restaurant tomorrow, just give the person in charge your name. And everything will work out. When you say everything will work out, do you mean all you can eat? For free? Yeah, it's free. There's quite a bit, so I reckon you come hungry. This would be a dream come true for me. Because I love desserts, but I usually eat so much on the appetizers and the main course that I'm usually too full to actually have dessert. At least that's been my usual experience with restaurant food. This is such a delightful opportunity, it was almost scary. This was really Shion, right? It wasn't Neon posing as Shion in order to bait me into a trap, was it? What am I saying? They're the same person. No, they're not. They're a Keiichi, buddy. Yeah, I know exactly what you're thinking, Kei-chan. You're thinking this is too good to be true, right? I mean, I would never. I heard from my sister, but you're really somebody who can't tell a lie. I'm not averse to somebody like that. Shion laughed with a voice that sounded a lot like Neon would laugh. It's not like I was intending on it, but it just so happens my shift ends early tomorrow. It's not a bother, I thought maybe we could spend a little time together after I'm done. Your shift ends early tomorrow? Yeah. So, take your time to eat the desserts, I'll finish up. Well, I didn't have any plans anyway. I don't mind hanging out with you for a bit. It's not like we have to go anywhere. I was just thinking pull off in the evening while we take a walk. There was no reason for me to refuse. Out of courtesy, I might as well take her up on her offer. By the way, Kei-chan, you and I have been meeting up every day, haven't we? Now that you say it, I guess we have. You said okay, we have an excuse to meet again tomorrow. Huh? What was Neon saying? Kei-chan, your voice is just cracked. What's the matter? Snicker. It wasn't a video phone, but you could tell I was beat red. Oh, then you should definitely come tomorrow. I'll take my leave here. Good night. Good night. Shion finished what she had called to say, ended the conversation without any chit-chat. When I returned to the living room after hanging from the phone, the TV was already off. My mom was sleeping in the rocking chair. Not feeling like turning the TV back on, I went back upstairs and returned to my room. I've only been receiving favors from Shion, haven't I? She brought me a bento and saved my ass from getting involved with those thugs. And she was supposed to be the different person, so I could thank Neon at school. Come to think, but she's probably just say she'll pass it on to her sister. I didn't thank Shion directly. Tomorrow I'll have to repay her somehow. I like this timeline. I like this timeline a lot. You received the new tip details of the delinquent 3. Oh boy. Let's take a look-see. Trophy unlocked. Mob mentality. Get rescued. Okay. That's a little on the nose. Just say like you're arresting us. Bullshit. Let go of me. Kuma-chan, you can let go of their arms now. Here, please sit down. The 3 people rubbed their arms painfully. Kawatani-kun and the others must have been squeezing them pretty hard. Don't get me wrong. I haven't arrested you or anything, Kuma-chan. Go get me something cold from the fridge, please. Would you like yours with barley, with foam, or without? They plunked down on the reception sofa despite not yelling anymore, and they still had dangerous expressions. What I'd give to be young again. I'll drink even if you don't, Excuse me for helping myself. Beer is the best when you drink it on the job. They downed the beer with glee. 3 people exchanged glances when they finally reached for their cans. They hadn't stopped being cautious, but it was more like they didn't see a reason to refuse. They each opened up their cans and began drinking the contents. Where did you guys come from? You're not from around here. They looked at each other again, suspicious of whether they should tell him. Are you all college students, friends on a trip? They're all traveling on bikes or something. Sounds like fun. I wish I was having. You don't live close by, do you? Where did you come from? Osaka, perhaps? Doesn't matter, yeah. Now, there's no need to try and intimidate me. You've all been in a lot of trouble if I'd left you there, right? They seem to recall the thrilling event from earlier. While they could understand getting surrounded by students or a gang or something along those lines, they would never have been surrounded by locals and both young, old, both men and women before. It was easy to imagine how scared they must have been. If you were from here, the people of Hinmasawa would have done nothing to you, no matter what you had done wrong. They're all special, not in the sense of parents not wanting to get involved with their children's fights, but if one person gets bullied, the village comes out in full force. That's not just an idle threat, you know. They couldn't argue against that. They themselves have been surrounded. They'd seen it with their own eyes. There was no doubt about it. Around these plots, if people of Hinmasawa give you a glare like that, you simply get demoned away. No one hears from you again. You'll suddenly disappear without a trace. You all have families that would get the police to search for you if you went missing. If not, then that's bad. You'll vanish, and that'll be the end of it. Even then, when we got there soon enough that nothing would happen, if we'd been late, things would have taken a turn for the worse. If they'd been forced into an alley, these young men wouldn't be sitting on a couch right now. They'd be lying on an autopsy table. Well, probably not. Anyway, perhaps a little more cooperative if we found them as corpses. How did you all get to Hokunomiya? By train? By bike? Bike. That's not good. They're still parked there, aren't they? Go waltzing to get them back. They'll really might gang up on you. How's that? I'll take them all. Calm down. Why are young people these days so quick for shouting? You don't want any more trouble, right? Tell me the bike license plates. I'll bring them here for you. Kuma-chan, please borrow the loading truck and we use for traffic disasters. Got it. It's fine. We'll get them ourselves. You really want to get surrounded again? The police may not be fast enough to save you this time. It's fine, isn't it? If they're surrounded, they get knocked down. Hey, you three. You're drinking barley with that foam, right? Try turning your engine on, I'll arrest you on the spot for drunk driving. Dude, that's fucking dirty. Your tax always be to good use in bringing all your bikes back here. Quit complaining and tell me the goddamn license plates, you pieces of shit. Those three were hesitant to tell him the numbers. They were mumbling something along the lines of not remembering them since they'd bought the bikes. Well, that's what I thought. Kuma-chan, go with the truck and bring the bikes back. Get the tough-looking red Yamaha with the one with the broken right tail light. And the white one that has packing tape stuck to the seat. It's those. They belong to you, right? They didn't answer. Those must be the right ones. Oishi-san, the truck's here. So I'll get going. Yes, please do. Wait, Kuma-chan, hold on. One more thing. What's up? Look at these numbers. I don't want to bring the wrong ones back. The three people's faces changed color. They'd made themselves very easy to understand. Let's take it easier until your bikes get back. There's more beer, you know. We have some snacks, too. Want to watch TV? There's really nothing on, though. No, thanks. Please leaving. We don't want to hang around here forever. Said there was 5 or 6 officers surrounding them. They're clearly overpowered. Spring stairs nailed them to the sofa. What would we do? Going on a trip by stealing motorcycles, huh? Students these days have far too much time on their hands. Well, I guess that explains what happened to them. This game's story is very thorough on the story parts. Oh good, we're just finishing up chapter 4. Out of, I think, 12. And then it's on to the next part of the story, I guess. I knew we wouldn't be doing any class activities after school today before Mion even said anything. I'd been invited over by Shion for an all-you-can-eat dessert. I made a point of leaving half my lunch uneaten. My expectations would only be rivaled by my hunger. I should be getting something to eat for supper tonight. Oh well.
Keiichi-kun, you seem very happy today. Did something good happen, did it?
I guess it was obvious. Brenna had questioned me with a happy look. That's right, why don't I invite Brenna for the dessert as well? Now, if I recall correctly, Shion said something about having an A ticket. At worst, the restaurant might be an admission by ticket only today. If that was the case, then having Brenna be turned away at the door would result in worse feelings ever. Yeah, I got a little lucky. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Brenna, you'll be definitely jealous. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What is it? What is it? I'm jealous, I'm jealous! This lucky thing, is it cute? Is it? Cute? I wonder what Brenna would think about the uniforms at Angel Mort. They'd definitely be a critical hit. Probably. It's probably pretty cute. Cute? Jelly! What is it? What is it? What kind of fortune were you blessed with? Huh? Could it be you're participating in the draw at Angel Mort about 2 months ago? And won? Hey now, I hadn't even transferred here 2 months ago. Oh, that's right. That is not the Angel Mort Dessert Festa then. Mii-chan, what is the Angel Dessert Festa exactly? You know, that's the family restaurant Angel Mort right by a Okonomi station. Every season they hold an event to promote their new dessert menu. That's today. Oh, it's no use going. The restaurant's reserved for people who won the draw. Shion explained this once again, what Shion explained to me last night. Randall will have to stop by the restaurant sometime. I'll do my best to draw a winning ticket and enter all-you-can-eat event next year. Knock yourself out. By the way, this is just something I heard, but there's a rumor that the ticket's being sold on the black market for a pretty penny. Hearing that story, I felt more appreciative of the ticket that Shion had procured for me. I just thought I was lucky to be able to eat dessert for free. Turned out the ticket was much more valuable. The number of things I had to thank Shion for had increased again. Thanks. I didn't know it was worth so much. I whispered in a voice only Mion could hear. That was how I conveyed my feelings. Mion looked at me for a moment before she tilted her head aside and smiled confusedly. What? Did you say something? It would be a problem if you said something to me right now. That smile seemed to be telling me that much. I guess Mion wouldn't be accepting any gratitude while she was Mion. I'll go to the restaurant. I'll thank Mion while she's Shion. Well then, this old man will take his leave here. The work today is going to be a little rough later. Mion waved her head energetically as she left. Hey Keiichi-kun, Mii-chan has been kind of weird lately. Like she's elated or something. What? You think so? Brenna was pretty sharp when it came to these types of things. To me, Mion seemed the same as always, but Brenna apparently felt something different. You don't know, Keiichi-kun. I totally thought you knew. Brenna's skirt fluttered as she spun around with a coy smile. No, what exactly? I was obviously losing my way out of the question, but I wasn't lying. Honestly, I really didn't know what was going on. Why did Shion, a persona of Mion that she'd created, appear before me? Something was blatantly up, but Brenna paid it no heed. Oh really? I wonder what it is then. When Mii-chan is in a good mood, so is Brenna. How? Saying that, she spread her arms wide and spun around happily. I didn't know why, but Brenna's in a really good mood. It was so infectious I had to smile too. Even the chirping of the cicadas seemed joyful. But you see, Brenna abruptly stopped spinning and her expression turned to a more somber one. You see, Mii-chan lately, she's in a lot of pain. What do you mean, pain? The pain that Brenna was talking was probably once physical. At first she tried to pretend it wasn't a big deal, but like a wound. It began to fester and grow. But eventually she was no longer able to bear the pain and woke up in the middle of the night. And then she found Brenna. Mii-chan was crying. I'm sorry, what are you talking about? What am I talking about? Huh? What is Brenna talking about, I wonder? But what? Hey, don't play dumb like that. Just now you said... I don't know. Brenna doesn't know anything. How? Brenna spun as she laughed innocently. Eventually she appeared to get sick and suddenly she steadied herself with her hand against the wall. That was dumb. That's what you get for getting carried away and spinning like that.
Sorry. So sorry. How? I think I feel sick.
I lent the Ditz a shoulder to lean on. To be something around like a newborn fowl at this age is actually quite a feat. Rena is in a good mood. I only babbled incoherently after that. I laughed as I responded and chided her. However, the chance to revisit that heavy topic Rena brought up before never arrived. Also, no crazy Rena scenes this time. As soon as I got home, I tossed aside my school bag and changed in a hurry. The effects of only having a light lunch were starting to show. As my stomach let out a fickle growls. Alright, let's go to Angel Mort. It's time to face the land of endless dessert. Preparations for battle are complete. Tally-ho! Again, there's some things I have to read out loud in this game for you guys that I am shocked I have to read out loud. Angel Mort had a decidedly different feel to compared to yesterday. Dessert festive today, admittance by reservation only. Nonetheless, the front of the door was being swarmed by over a dozen young men. Judging by how they were looking upwards in jealousy instead of entering the store, they weren't invitees. Why would they gather here if they knew they couldn't get in? I found out the answer when I passed through the crowds and began to climb up the steps to enter the restaurant.
Are you a participant? You have the ticket?
Yeah. Well, I was lucky. As soon as I said that, I was immediately mobbed. It was like being in the middle of a football scrum on a crowded train. What is going on? Their reason was this. It wasn't just one ticket per person. One ticket could let up to 4 people inside. Oh, so it's like that, huh? Seems like I should have invited Brenna and the others. Thanks for the tip. But I'll pretend I didn't hear that. Without them smile, I turned and ignored them. When I did, all their arms reached out at once like the souls of the damned seeking succor. That ticket can admit up to 4 people. Please bring us with you! What selfish people. This was the only reason they were crowding in front of the restaurant. Dozens of wretched arms reached out with me like teeth of a giant rake, and grasping at the air. I was already climbing the stairs to the entrance. What a heartless dick! Grab him! This isn't something to joke about! I flew up the rest of the stairs and threw myself inside the restaurant. It was like I'd entered a different world! Oh no! She's been isekai'd! What will we do? The miserable throng of the damned hurled curses at me from the other side of the glass door. But inside of this completely soundproof, air-conditioned restaurant was the angelic smile of a waitress to welcome me. They were nothing more than a refreshing piece of scenery. I knew I shouldn't laugh, but I began to let out a sinister cackle. There you go, guys. That's my evil DM cackle.
Good afternoon! Welcome to Angel Mort. Due to today's dessert festa, the restaurant is closed and reserved for customers who won the draw. Could I ask for your name and ticket? I don't have the ticket, but I should be on the guest list. Mabara. There it is! I'm sorry, but can you please wait? Could I please have your full name? Keiichi Mabara. My apologies for the inconvenience. You're here by special invitation, right? I'll show you to your seat. Please, this way. The mood inside the room was incredibly heated. The booths were packed to the brim. Men in their prime, stuffing their faces with dainty desserts that didn't suit them at all. It was a rather unnerving spectacle. Soon after I was shown to my seat, Shion arrived.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Angel Mort.
Hey Shion, thanks so much for today. I really appreciate it.
You were a bit late, so I was getting worried. I'm really happy you came, though.
It must have been because of the other customers were around that her tone was less casual, but she still capped off that welcome with her usual brilliant smile. Yay!
As you can see, there's a lot of customers today. I'm not sure I'll be able to take a break. Please take your time, relax until I'm finished.
When I'm done, let's go play somewhere, okay? Whispering that last part in my ear, Shion winked and returned to the kitchen. It was just because of the mood in the restaurant was so heated, but Shion seemed a bit bolder. Even a small change in her mannerisms was enough to set my heart aflutter. Yes, this is the arc where Keiichi falls for Shion very quickly. Yeah, and now it's back to the silly, more speedy music. Sorry to keep you waiting. While I was overwhelmed by the atmosphere inside the restaurant, orders from the new summer menu were carried out one after another. Every single one was extravagantly huge. I get it. You can eat all of these amazing things for free. No wonder a ticket was worth its weight in gold. On top of that, all of it was plenty delicious. From dishes with general appeal to the insane ones aimed at specific audiences, there's absolutely no gaps in their repertoire. I always found that music in visual novels especially are usually extremely well done, even on the more low-budget ones. I guess because it's one of the major parts of playing a visual novel, is enjoying the music. No matter how we look at it, I don't think one person can eat this much. Well, let's just leave it at that for now. It didn't feel relaxing here at all, probably because the fever inside the restaurant was clearly abnormal. All the other booth eaters were crammed with groups of four. Sleazy men were gorging like pigs on cutely decorated desserts. I would have been surprised if they started licking the plates. It was more than a little unsettling. It piqued my interest, so I started listening in on their conversations and what things I heard. Angel for so moe. Me? I bought my ticket for 70,000 on Reddit auctions. Actually, no, Reddit didn't exist back then. The black market auction. Okay, that's more story appropriate. I told work I was attending a relative's funeral. Uniforms here are the greatest. I was wondering if the waitresses could wipe it for me, but I spilled some water on my pants right now. Meow. Meow meow. I heard they're planning on selling Angel Mort figures. We'll have to pay heed to the next Wonder Festival. They sells used Angel Mort uniforms on the 4th floor of something in Yakiba. But these cost 280,000 yen. Oh my god. Tis an absurd price. Animal costs 80,000 when Bro closed. The going down rate for theirs was 12,000 yen. That's the price for used ones. Knockoffs are less than half that. A knockoff from Redacted is fine with me. I wonder if they'll start selling them here. Then I'll put mine life-size figure I've just bought off the Redacted for several 100,000 yen. If you could wake up every day to an angel from Angel, that'd really get my gears going. The words spilling out of their mouths are pretty much all incomprehensible jargon, but they still keenly conveyed that hidden behind them was an invisible aura of abnormality. Sorry to keep you waiting. The next dessert is a tropical cinnamon love affair. Ooh, scandalous. I wonder if it's just a really dressed up cinnamon bun. Is something the matter? No! It's kind of different inside the restaurant today. Our restaurant's pretty famous in their circles. But we aren't aiming for that, so it's all well and good. But during festas, there's usually some more hardcore crowds, so it can be a handful. The waitress informed me quietly with a wry smile. The customers seem riled up today, almost like a pack of hyenas. Is it sad that my brain went immediately to the hyenas in Lion King? Probably. Oh well. It seems like a lot of customers today came from unreasonably far away. Those types of people are fairly prone to losing their self-control, so it's a little scary. If you don't keep your guard up, something bad can happen. What did she mean by keep your guard up? Oh, that! At that moment, a crash resounded through the room. I had to turn around and startled to see that a waitress had fallen down and spilled the order she was carrying right into a customer. Ooh, that's bad. Wait, isn't that Shion? I'm so sorry, your food is... what have you done? The cheese I bought at certain special shop for 800 yen or else Shiki is rusting and... what hell is this for somebody who just met with disaster seems awfully happy? How tragic! It seems little Miss Waitress here and a wipey wiping up from the bottom of her heart. The conversation seemingly veered off to odd directions. Hey, wait, what did he say? Wipey doesn't mean Shion has to wipe him down? Right over that obviously a bored tent he had pitched over his crotch? That is... Wipey. This goes on for a while. Ugh. The wipey chant quickly spread through the room. Totally cornered, Shion went pale. She looked over. More experienced waitresses for help. That was only that head shakes out of pity. Sonozaki-san was tripped. Customers who do that on purpose get their clothes dirty have been on the rise lately. Officers saying she was tripped. Then what happened now wasn't an accident, it was for on purpose. The regular girls are careful about it, so they definitely won't end up like that, but Sonozaki-san is only a seasonal hire, so she had her guard down. The customers today can easily pick up on that, so she's targeted since this morning. What's the manager doing? You should just kick those thugs out. We're in the service industry, so it's not like much we can do about it. That is very true, unfortunately. She laughed as she said that in a resigned tone. Shion trembled uncontrollably with a dishcloth in her hand as she turned bright red. The man had been dazzled with the frosting splaying out on the bench, putting the cream-covered tent over his crotch on full display. Still mentally unprepared, their trembling hands in were thrown on by onlookers. Come. It's time for the wipey. From my male point of view, it might have been a ridiculous spectacle, but I could just smile wryly at that, but from a woman's point of view, this was obviously pure humiliation. Uh-oh. When I was trapped by those thugs and had been paralyzed with fear, Shion fearlessly stood up to them and saved me. Still, as humiliating as it was, Shion was also partly to blame for this, and it wasn't as though her life was at stake, right? Even these guys, they were just jeering at her in a bit of a lewd situation. It's not like they were going to eat Shion alive or anything. It'd be alright if I just consoled her afterward. Even I was scared, but Kate-chan was in trouble, so I had to be brave and do my best. When I as a man was being assailed by 3 thugs while paralyzed with fear, Shion saved me without a second thought. What about now? These sleazy, filthy degenerates were trying to pin the blame on Shion. This time our roles were reversed. Hey, Keiichi Maebara! Don't save her now. When will you be able to repay that debt you owe her? You scared, Keiichi Maebara? At that time, Shion, no Mion, didn't even show a hint of hesitation. Then what about now? I'm not hesitating. Then what? You're not hesitating, then why aren't you helping her? Now resign yourself to your fate. Shut up, you greasy fat asses. Get out of here before I get angry. I grasped Shion's shoulder firmly and pulled her behind me. Kei-chan? Seems you don't understand. Yonder waitress is one who wet my pants. This is her punishment. The one who needs punishing is you! Enough with empty words. You're a man, talk with your fists. Thud, smash. My body was lifted in the air like it was nothing. I was thrown right back into my little seat. This guy is strong, no matter how you look at him. The athletic and this Ardo couldn't even be in the same area code. Many otakus are unexpectedly well-versed in obscure martial arts. Don't misunderstanding us. The man smirked, showing off his smile. Kei-chan, are you okay? Damn it, how lameless I look right now. You were tricked, weren't you, Mion? They're the ones in the wrong here, so don't let them take advantage of you. Maybe, but it was still my fault. Whoa! One more time, let's do it! Snap, thud, crash. Maybe you're thinking this is enough to make me give up. One more time. Back, snap, thud. Oh, you're all talk. I'm not done to eat. Rise, my will to fight. It's not just running. I've let every one of my steps from the close distance to the large wall. Each time I rip my foot off the floor and I feel my burning spirit flare up at the impact point. Everything slowed down like I was walking underwater. As I set forward in this vicious flow of time, I calmly measured the gap between us. With our differences in height, reach was my ultimate advantage. There's an ever so tiny distance between us where only my punch would be able to reach. I unleashed my iron fist of righteous anger, but it flew towards his face slowly while I was punching him underwater. Reacting to that, the smirk on his face, the fatso easily slipped inside my punch. I didn't realize it until now, but in this mired time, I was able to observe his baffling counterattack with almost painful clarity. His arm slowly swung around in a large windmill motion, wrapped around my lift punch, and descended into an arc. That arm swung around like arms of a clock. It came in contact with my head, twisting my upper body around. Dragging my head along, he followed through with another rotation. This time he rotated his entire body like a top, flowing like another rotation. Combining defense and offense, it was a brilliant counter. That's right, 3 times. I was thrown after the 3 rotations, I think. In that vicious region of time, I was unable to struggle, and I could only wait dumbstruck until the moment I was thrown. The moment I was, that sluggish temporal anomaly abruptly ended. That sounded like it hurt. A lot. Crash. You lack training, young man. I was loath to admit it, but against somebody trained in martial arts, I couldn't win a force of will alone. And so Keiichi blacked out. After my consciousness faded in a wave of dizziness, when I came to, I was laying down in my own seat. Thankfully, you weren't injured. The more experienced waitresses from before wiped the sweat from my brow with a towel. While she was doing that red-faced, teary-eyed, Shion trudged over. Are you okay? Doing that for my sake? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry too. I was much help. I've never won a fight before. No, you're just trying to help me happy. Not joking. That's just... I was thinking that it was the lucky Kei-chan who came here to save me. As she said that, she stuck her tongue out teasing me. She wiped off the whipped cream from the washcloth that she was holding in her hand. So, Doctor-san, can you take your break now? You still have 1 or 2 hours left, don't you? No, it's fine. Even though it's just part-time, it's still a paying job. I want to work properly while I'm on the clock. So really, you don't have to worry about me. You can put up a brave front. I would never even think for a second that Myeon could be that weak. This was Shion. She had been harassed by some unreasonable riffraff. That was reality. Kei-chan, don't mind me. Please eat as much dessert as you can, or your head will have you fill out a survey. Well, then I got to get my back to the floor. After some consoling words of sympathetic face and smile time to Myeon, the other waitresses started to head back to work. That's where I stopped her. Excuse me, what are your phone? Phone? It's by the register. I'll show you where. I pulled a 10-yen coin from my wallet. This wasn't no saving face. My being was as a worthless coward was unchangeable fact, and I couldn't cry myself to sleep about that later tonight. Now is not the time for tears. I had to fight. I recall 1 ticket is good up to 4 people, right? If I were to call over 3 more people, that's fine. For the time being, I write down on the guest list. Could I have their names? I turned around and glared at the greasy hooligan and subject Shion to that humiliation. There are 3 things that aren't working in your favor today, Punk. The first is that I owed Shion. The second, that I'm a man who's not afraid to throw away his pride to win. And the third is that we're the most powerful club members in history. Please add Rena Ryuga, Sadako Hojo, and Rika Furude to the guest list. Understood, I'll do that. I have the best and most powerful club members to join. I have the best and most powerful club members to join the fray. They can bring down 1,000 foes. You badasses. Prepare to meet your maker.
This is a nice restaurant. How the uniforms are so cute! I was to wear them too. How? On top of that, we're being treated to dessert. I'm taking room.
Yeah, eat as much as you like. Don't worry about my share.
Keiichi-san, enough of the charades. Let's get to the point.
Ren and Rika put down their forks when Sadako approached the subject. After looking at them for a moment, I pressed my fork and firmly to the table. I beg of you. I don't care if you make fun of how pathetic I am. Please lend me your strength. The 3 of them seemed surprised by the sudden turn of events, but nevertheless listened to what I had to say without making fun of my unusual behavior.
What's the matter? Something happened, didn't it?
Actually, Mion's younger sister Shion is working part-time at this restaurant.
Oh, that little sis you were talking about, right? Could it be her? Could it she resembles her? Resemble?
That's just Mion with her hair down, isn't it? I don't know what to say to that. Keiichi says it's Shion, then it's Shion. They might be twins, but they can really look that much alike. They're called monozygotic twins? They really can look identical. Rena gave up the most plausible explanation, so everybody else was convinced. Well, then you believe me? I get to the point now? I know why Rika explained that. Oh well. I recounted everything that had just happened. How Shion was targeted, how she was antagonized by the customers, and the humiliation that was forced upon her. How incredibly pathetic I was. I included everything without trying to hide it. That's awful. Poor Shi-chan. However, for you to be unable to help her, there should be a limit to how unsightly you can be. There's nothing I can say to that. Sadako-chan, to admit you lost and seek help is a very difficult thing to do. Keiichi-chan chose to help Shi-chan rather than save his pride. Pathetic. Rena's follow-up stung a bit, but I could only be thankful that she understood. Sadako was calling me all sorts of names, but there was no malign intention behind her words. I also know why Sadako has that mentality. Then what should we do? Her voice was monotone, but there was a hint of resolve in her words. I tried to Rika's suggestive silence in kind of my own quiet resolve. Well, I thought it was something like that. A bit much for Keiichi-chan to handle alone. Then you'll help? Of course, Keiichi-kun. We'll help anybody who's being bullied. I remember when I was cornered by those thugs with Shion and said how strong feelings of solidarity, so I really began to hit home. However, Keiichi Mahabara, now's not time to get choked up in tears of gratitude. Now's the time to fight. Sorry, I owe you one. Tried your best, you didn't stand a chance alone. How sad, how sad. Rika-chan gently patted my head. There was no mindless pity in the form of that man. It was overflowing with a strong defensive feeling of leave the rest to us. Mion can't join us today due to various circumstances, so temporarily be taking command. Our strategy rolls around Shion's defense and the extermination of enemy combat capability. Who's the enemy? Are there a lot of them? From this point forward, anybody who messes with Shion will be considered an enemy. Combatant. There are no rules of engagement. Compensation will be the dessert you just ate. Any questions? Everybody had entered club mode, their eyes peering at the riffraff clamoring around inside the restaurant like predators stalking their prey from the darkness. Rika-chan held up her hand. What is it, Rika-chan? Do we have to show mercy? Of course I don't have to. You have no need to show mercy, grapple with dare lay a finger on Mion's little sister. And it's okay, Keiichi. Rika-chan was very serious. She was really ready to pretty much murder somebody. I'm counting on you, Rika-chan. I, Keiichi Mahabara, shall assume all responsibility. Rout them. Okay, Rena's gonna do her best to... Son, please do. Keiichi-san, you don't have to be so tense. Well, just you wait. By the time we finish that parfait, we'll have finished cleaning up too. Well then, everyone, let's give it our best. Go for it, oh yay! Yay! Thus, the most powerful warband the world had ever known, trained by Mion, began to move. I was the oldest, the only boy, and behaved like the leader, but when you consider our club activities, I was by far the most junior member. Individually, everyone besides me had terrifying combat capabilities. All of them combined their strength to protect Shion. I couldn't even imagine. I was probably about to witness something terrible and awe-inspiring. Sonozaki-san! 5 deluxe parfaits for table 7! Ah, sure thing! Shion carried the order to the tables. For Shion to carry all 5 parfaits without wobbling took so much effort, she didn't have breathing room to pay attention to her feet. Comrades, here she comes yet again. This time we'll have her spill everything on her chest. I'll have her wait right down to my underwear. It was the same wipey scheme that had occurred just a short time earlier. Another one was trying it out for himself. The very depravity of these men was itself a full-out attack. Rena, this is Keiichi. Ambush them around tables 5 and 6. Rena, do you copy? The restaurant uniforms are so cute! Oh, I want to take them home! Shido on her bottom swag while carrying the parfait was being chased by an equally swag Rena. She was supposed to be escorting Shion, but Rena was instead transfixed by the back of her uniform. Personally, I don't blame Rena for that. A normal person's point of view, it was probably like having a fox guard at a henhouse, but when it came to Rena, things are different. EU mode was 120% synchronization. We've won. When Rena's in that state, even the laws of physics don't apply. Shion's legs unsteadily and defenseless, we were being targeted by those sleaze bags. Now, my comrades, hail mein Führer, shining Lucifer of Hermie Mecca! Alex and legs snaked out to trip Shion's defenseless feet. Egad, 3 of them at once! That. Yeah! Oh. It happened in an instant. The 3 fools writhed in pain as their legs bent at an unnatural angles. What is this madness? Rena teetered into view, giving them a warning.
How? No mischief, okay? No means no. No.
Rena is going to be the one taking her home. This girl, what's with the strange technique? The human scum clutched their bruised ankles as they passed out. That's our Renaissance.
No matter how many times I see it, it always strikingly quick.
Yeah, it's an unbreakable barrier. Anyone within 2-meter radius of attack, Shion is completely obliterated by Rena. As Shion was making her rounds to the restaurant, there were many people here, collapsing with their welts on their legs or hands.
Oh, Keiichi-kun, Mrs. Rena. There's nobody left to bother Shi-chan. It's time to take her home now.
Rena, this is Keiichi. Good work. Please continue the mission. Also, permission take home denied. Repeat, permission take home denied.
And I'll just look. Oh!
I guess just looking's fine. That would have prevented her from guarding Shion, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, thanks to this, I knew who had tried to mess with Shion. Anybody who was clutching their arm or leg while they were writhing and hanging was basically branded by their bruises. Currently, we have finished identifying all enemy forces. Proceeding to the next phase. Sadako, this is Keiichi. What's your status?
This is Sadako.
That's a rude way to ask.
Keiichi-san, who do you think I am?
Sadako was in the kitchen. She had spread open a sketch of the restaurant on the counter, replete with order chit-chats and their destinations, and now was sorting through the freshly made desserts.
Hey, what are you doing? Now. As the next time, it's alright, we just leave it to her.
More importantly, we're taking all these orders out at once. I'm counting on you. The veteran waitress was briskly directing her juniors as the trays went after another. All the desserts they'd passed through Sadako's hands were delivered at once.
Oh, lots of cute desserts are coming. Oh!
I think you know this, but don't touch them. At least if you still value your life.
I know, but how?
Certainly they are incredibly cute-looking desserts. They are all works of art that could enjoy before taking your first bite. However, since Sadako had meddled with them, there's nothing more than unpredictable danger. Blissfully ignorant of that fact, were the men now stuffing their faces. Almost right away they realized something was wrong. Sadako? What did you mix in there? It couldn't have been salt or Tabasco, right?
My, what are you saying, Keiichi-san? You said no mercy. I might not look like it, but when I get down to business, I like to be very thorough.
As she said that, she twirled a dubious vial in her fingers, putting it smartly into her pocket. Rika, this is Sadako. Customers are moving. Escort duty is all yours.
Leave me.
Come to think of it, I didn't see Rika anywhere. Where could she be lurking? Clatter, clatter. Several men stood up suddenly from their seats, surveying the restaurant for something. That restless fidgeting. They looked of relief when they found the single card hanging from the ceiling. I don't know how clear it was the word restroom. Oh, they dropped laxatives into the
frickin' desserts. Okay. They began mad rush to that direction. It wasn't just one or two people. All the people who were branded the enemy were standing up in their seats while clutching their stomachs. I think I was a little too greedy. Where's the washroom? You too! Not the Ember one, but the Ember 2! I need to catch up. Yow! Where's the toilet? I'm not it's here now! Turn it for now! And I was dirty looking about what Sadako probably did to their dishes. The problem was how to follow this up. I was intrigued, so I followed the Russian men to the washroom. The narrow hallway next to the washroom was crammed in about 10 men. What is this? I peered over to see what had happened. Whoa. The toilet was clogged and backflowing and unleashing a large gurgling sound and a terrible stench. There was no way to use it in this state. Damn it, Sadako, what a frightening display of power. No, this was what Sadako's doing. It was divine punishment. Yeah, they were just unlucky. I'll just logically ask one of the employees here to clean it up. I can't do my business like this. What do we out? Do we out, comrades? It was a brilliant combination of traps, but it was better if there was at least one more push to the kicker. Seeing as it was Sadako, she wouldn't have overlooked that. Meow! It's come to this! It's time for the last resort! Faced with the moral dilemma, that family had one other option. Women's restroom! Isn't using the girls going to get us into more trouble? I'm pretty sure there's no female customers today. I didn't think of that before. Women's toilets are the best. What a brazen bunch they are. The men sweating now poured from their brows made a mad rush to the girls' washroom without any hesitation. Me? Nah! There was a girl there. It was Rika-chan. The men stood there, frozen in various complicated poses, indicating their surprise. Rika-chan also seemed unbounded by his sudden turn of events, but the look on her face was strangely perfect. I'd argue serene, but oh well. This was all part of the plan as well, apparently. You sly dog, Rika-chan. I could never underestimate you. You see, mademoiselle... Me? The men's room is a bit dangerous at the moment, so we wanted to borrow the toilet here, right? Meow meow? Me! But I guess it's not right after all, right, my comrades? Just having a girl stand there in the restroom, I never knew it could put up such an overwhelming barrier. There's no way anybody would be brave enough to lift Rika out of the way just to try and do their business. This is the most they could do after all. If it were man in full club mode, for example, with someone like me, they would plow through Rika-chan without a second thought. Now what are you gonna do, fat asses? The price for tormenting Shion still hadn't been paid. If you're in trouble, I can help you. That'd be much appreciated. How would you do that? You can use one of the toilets outside. I'll show you to them. That'd be perfect. Breeze. At this rate, it'll end up becoming a group enema parade. Rika-chan, with a pleasant smile on her face, guided them to a casual stride in her step. This race against time, her slow pace was sadistic torture. Mademoiselle, the toilet is far from here. We'll get there soon. Obeying Rika-chan's directions, they were about to leave the restaurant. Keiji-kun, finished here. Give him hell. Yep, leave it to me. I spread my arm out and blocked them as they tried to leave the restaurant. What is the meaning of this? We're DEFCON 1 here. Listen up, Council Lard. You know what happens if you set foot outside the store, right? What is the meaning of the preposterous statement? Look at the right thing here on the ticket. Not valid for re-entry, see? You're free to use any toilet you want, but the moment you step outside, that door can't come back. Y'all remember this!
I don't want to guide anybody who says scary things like that.
Everybody panics. Rika-chan gets turned back. They can only figuratively and literally fall into line. All the waitresses also lined up to see them off.
Thank you very much for coming. We shall return.
Clang the bell playfully as the door slams shut behind them.
How pathetic. Too easy. We did it, yay.
Ren and Sadako clap their hands together. I could hold a candle to those guys by myself, but when you get a group together, you can send them packing like a herd of cattle. With opponents this week, any of us could have taken it by ourselves. Keiichi-san, you needed to up your game. I was loath to admit it, but Sadako was right. Damn it! One day I'll be strong enough to be worthy to stand alongside them. But I'm really glad we were able to protect each other's sister. Now there's none of those bad people with the pranks left. You're blessed to have such wonderful friends, Senazaki-san. The veteran waitress was also smiling. After the herd was sent packing, it was calmed down completely inside the restaurant. Shen was flustered as she glanced around between us and now the empty seats.
You did that for me? I mean...
Shion's expression was somewhere between happy and guilt-ridden. Her face turned slightly red as she ran into the kitchen.
Oh, Shi-chan is cute! They really are twins, how...
Given Shion's personality, there's no way she'd thank us directly. Might be a bit excessive in our means, but we're glad that we were able to save her. I think you know this already, but Senazaki-san is very grateful. As representative of the floor staff here, I extend my gratitude. Clap, clap, clap. The applause quickly rang out through the entire restaurant. Not only with the other waitresses, but also customers that were genuinely there to enjoy the dessert. Everyone was lauding her efforts. Oh, there's the fun. There's the chill music. When we had mostly finished eating and were filling out the survey, Rika-chan made her return.
Oh, good work. Did everything go all right?
It took a while.
I'm sorry. I was lost on the way back. It was a lot of trouble. Rika-chan likes to stray down pretty strange roads. She gets lost pretty often.
How did she get lost just guiding people to the nearby toilet?
Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. Rika has a lot of strong points that are more than makes up for that.
I can see that. That expression in the girls' room, you were quite the thespian.
Keiichi was being horrible. He was thinking, if I were in their shoes, I'd just run her over and rush into the washroom.
What? Did what I was thinking show up on my face?
Keiichi-kun was a pervert.
No, I mean... I could laugh about it then, but a few days later, the newspaper headline read, 10 unidentified men were taken in custody in Hidayama. The men claimed they had traveled from Shishibone City by foot to find a toilet. The spot they were taken in custody was X kilometers away from Shishibone. When I read that article, I realized how terrifying Rika-chan really was.
Well, thanks for treating me. I was happy you called me here today. Are you going home already? Can you stay a little longer?
I was in the middle of organizing some drawers, but if I leave it like that, I won't be able to put out a futon. I guess that's true. What if I called her at a bad time?
Yeah, when Rena phoned her, she was in the middle of cleaning her room. But she still came. Well, it was an emergency, so it couldn't be helped. Besides, I got to eat a lot of sweets, so I'm very happy. Thanks for today.
Sorry for calling you out of sun.
Tell Shion I said bye.
I'll be taking my leave then.
Rena-san, please take your time. Yeah, I will. Later.
And so Rika and Sadako left.
Rika-chan and Sadako in a good mood horsed around with each other as they left.
I like that screen grab.
While Brenna and I were having a discussion about desserts we just ate, Shion arrived with some coffee.
Oh! Did the two little ones leave already?
Hearing them called the little ones was so strange I inadvertently burst into laughing. Apparently they were in the middle of cleaning, so they went home. Shion had brought enough coffee for 4 people.
I heard from my senior, it seems like you went through a lot of trouble for my sake.
There's no trouble at all, no.
None other than Shi-chan was in a pinch after all.
Oh, is it alright if I call you Shi-chan?
You match with me-chan, so I thought you'd be cute.
Oh well, whatever you want. Shion seemed a bit hesitant when Rena started talking to her. Rena was pretty sharp about some things, so Shion was probably worried that Rena would find out she was beyond after talking like this. And Shion said she had work soon and hurried off back to the kitchen, leaving the coffee for just us two.
She was a bit upset with Rena. Maybe she thought I was being too friendly, Howell?
She's just embarrassed. Still, they really do look the same. Instead of twins, it's like there's another Michan. They look the same, but the aspects here around them, rather, their insides are completely different. And those types of twins are pretty interesting, though.
You think that, Keiichi-kun?
I think they're identical on the inside, too. Somehow became silent. Rena was staring at the pattern of milk made on the surface of her coffee without saying a word. For somebody like me who could never stop talking, was rather uncomfortable for the moment. Rena's off-put mannerism seems to imply I said something I shouldn't have. That unpleasant carried on for a little while. Rena? You said it today, right? That Mion was hurting?
Did I say something like that?
Don't play dumb with me. You definitely said it. On the way home from school. Rena answered by laughing while continuing playing dumb, questioning if she said that. Damn, that piano player is doing a great job there. As thick-headed as I was, I had a faint realization. Rena wanted to say that I was the one hurting Mion. But when? Me? Hypothetically, if something like that had happened, it's not something I did out of malice. I continued the conversation, but left out the assumption I had hurt Mion.
Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think Kei-chan had any bad intentions.
Rena replied, leaving out the assumption that I had hurt Mion, but that confirmed it. I don't know what happened, but it seemed like I had hurt Mion. And Rena was upset with me due to the fact I hadn't realized it. I don't want you to misunderstand, it's not like Rena is mad at you. Seeing right through what I was thinking, Rena said that as she smiled even more gently than usual. She said, how do I say this? It's hard. If I made a mistake, please say so clearly. I'm so thick-headed I disgust even myself. If there's something I should apologize for, then I want to know even a little quicker so I can make up for it. Yeah, I kind of feel Keiichi here because sometimes I make mistakes and I'd rather somebody tell me outright versus hiding it from me, because if I'm making mistakes, I'd rather hear about it and then try to fix it.
I don't think Keiichi-chan made a mistake. Depending on how you look at it, Michan might be the one who's being unfair. Taking the stance that the girl was the one being unfair might be unfair in itself, but Rena said... What Rena said draped in mystery. Unfortunately, I had no idea what she meant. I know full well what she means, unfortunately. Only thing I got out of it was I had said or done something inadvertently to hurt Mion. I'm begging you, Rena. Mion is one of my best friends. I don't want to leave something between us that could cause problems later. So tell me, how did I hurt her? I can't tell you. You need to realize something like that for yourself. Oh my god, I hate that logic. I hate it so much. Like that you don't realize that ergo you're a terrible person, and then you just assume the person's just terrible for the rest of their life. It's like, that kind of treat makes me think wokeness is bullshit. Rena, smiling like that always did, but spoke bluntly. The fact that she had this strength of will surprised me for a moment. I'm asking you because I can't figure it out, you know. My tone had unintentionally become harsh. Rena was surprised for a moment, but quickly returned to her flat demeanor. Well, I guess a hint is fine. This is special, okay? Sorry, please, I'll think about this seriously. Rena looked around the restaurant searching for Shion. Shion was working enthusiastically without confidence as usual. Shi-chan, if she tries her hair up, it's impossible to tell apart from Mi-chan, right? Yeah, that's true. So then, if Mi-chan let her hair down, would she be impossible to tell apart from Shi-chan? Probably. What does that have to do with anything? What if her being the younger twin was a lie and she was just Michan pretending to be your sister? What do you think? Rena was sharper than her daily behavior blade. I was hesitant to the verbal affirmation that, but it was the right answer. It might be unfair to ask a question with another question. If you, say, Mion is just pretending to be Shion, what purpose would that serve? After maintaining the silence for a while, Rena glanced at the clock. That's what I think you should... That's what I want you to think about. Was that too much of a hint, Owl? After thanking me for the dessert, Rena stood up from her seat. Sorry, I have to ask goodbye if you think so. It's about time I left. Is it okay if you tell Shion I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye? Yeah, I'll tell her. Unfortunately, again, I already know the answer, and I'm annoyed at Keiichi for not seeing the answer. Sorry, huh? That Rena is so short-tempered. Sorry for getting angry. Keiichi-kun isn't the only one at fault here. Rena was harsh in her apology, but I was the one who really should have apologized. I think Michan, it's something that doesn't bother her much anymore, so if you want to forget the whole thing happened, that's fine too. See, as a girl, I hope that Kei-chan realizes that by himself coming to apologize for his own volition. How? Switching to cute mode only at the end, she disappeared in the direction of the register. Again, I know Keiichi's mistake because I know this is bad timeline. While I'm staring into the space, somebody suddenly tapped me on the shoulder. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finally done. It was Shion who had changed into her street clothes. She flashed a smile while greeting me. Thank you so much for today. Everything was delicious. We were all really happy to help. Oh, don't mention it. I'm glad everyone had fun. Huh? That girl that was just here left as well. She had some shopping to do. She said she was sorry for leaving without saying anything. I see. Well then, we should leave as well. Even though I'm off duty, I'm so nervous around the workplace. When I'm strolling around without any destination in particular. I had been sitting the entire time, so I need a breath of fresh air. When we left, the sky had already become draped in the veil of darkness. It's gotten dark already, even though I promised I'd finish early. It's dark outside here, too. Interesting. Yeah, it's almost 7. Oh well, at least we got a little time to chat like this. Saying that, Shion set out for the tree-lined boulevard behind the station. The station was slowly becoming crowded with businessmen heading home. Well then, I guess we should start with the introduction. I was mistaken for my sister when we first met, so we never properly introduced ourselves. I could only smile and laugh wryly. My name is Shion Sonozaki. I'm only similar to my older sister in appearance. My sister is rough around the edges and hot-headed, but I'm composed and methodical person. I remember what Ren and I had talked about earlier. I said they looked the same, but their personalities were different, while Rena said they were both the same. I don't know what tipped her off, but Rena figured out that Shion was Mion. Also related to that, she said that I hurt Mion. Rena had only given one hint. That was why Mion was pretending to be Shion. Okay, Chi. You're only half right. Shion, what did you hear from me from Mion? My sister seems to take a liking to you. She talks about you quite a bit, like club activities about being pranked and pranking you back. Boyish kind of stories. You really do get along. Boyish kind of stories, huh? I don't think that. I was thinking there was something Shion told me before. Kei-chan, don't you think my sister is a girl? You don't think of my sister as a girl, do you? Was that what happened that hurt Mion? Mion herself said she wished she'd been born a boy, and that being a girl doesn't suit her. She said a lot of things to that effect, didn't she? Kei-chan, you look like you're having fun. Oh no, that's not true. Even though you're bad at hiding, you sure like to lie, don't you? I still don't hate you for it. Saying that, she let you chop my forehead. Even though Shion was enjoying herself, I still was trying to figure out how I'd hurt Mion. I had a hard time figuring out the riddle that Rena had left me with.
Hey, see that? Don't you think it's pretty? You think even a guy would find it pretty?
Yeah, it is pretty. Shan was having fun shopping, dragging me by all sorts of stores I would normally never enter.
It wasn't like she was begging me to buy her anything. I wasn't getting bored either. It was just something to talk about as we walked around.
In an easygoing way, we browsed through numerous stores. We discussed all sorts of topics I knew nothing about, but I didn't lose interest. And I feel like she was a good at conversation.
Kei-chan, this is your first time doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. Somebody didn't bring me in these accessory shops. I don't think I'd set foot in one in my entire life.
Not that. I meant more like this.
What? I leapt back when Xian linked her arm with mine.
Hey, you don't have to act so surprised. It's not embarrassing to link arms with a girl, is it?
Xian's expression was a little bit miffed but suggestive at the same time. I'm not that embarrassed. You want some arm? I can spare one or two. Here.
Hey, John, you really know how to entertain someone. I see why my sister took a liking to you.
You don't want my arm, I'm taking it back.
Come on. Oh, come on. I'm happy to have it.
Laughing in good spirit, she unlocked her arms and find my heart skipped a beat. This question might be a bit mean, but I want to enjoy seeing your reaction, Kei-chan. Have you ever been arm in arm with a girl before? Around a bonfire at a field trip doesn't count, by the way. That little devil, she was asking that question knowing full well what the answer would be.
Well, field trip throughout, this is rough.
I thought as much. That impish laugh really is the same as Mion's. You really are Shion, right? You're not just Mion saying that you're Shion, are you?
Are you thinking my sister might pretend to be me?
I thought you were twins until just now, but that way you mess around is just like Mion.
You're just saying that. You can tell us apart easily.
What do you mean by that? If my sister were holding your arm like this, you would get nervous. I would. I'd be completely on edge, worrying about when she would go for the arm lock. Shion laughed so hard, she had to hold on to herself. Hey, that's really funny. You're tearing up. No, it's just... I was just thinking about how hopeless my sister is. She didn't even look at the young man hot and bothered while she's arm in arm with him. She really is a failure as a woman. Or once again that I heard someone say that before. Sometimes I think my sister would have been better off being a poor boy. If she did, then I might have fallen for her. Just kidding. Jan did say something about wanting to be born a boy. My sister's on the fence as to whether she wants to be a boy or a girl. Well, it's the price she pays for living an awkward lifestyle. Just leave her be. You've been saying some pretty harsh things about your sister just now, right? Mion has some soft parts to her that I don't like. That way that Xian talk somehow sounded cold. Xian, you don't get along with Mion? Well, we get along well enough. So there's a few things for which I won't forgive her, as her sister. Hey, look at that! Don't you think it's cute? I look around where Xian was pointing. What was there was a familiar display window of a toy shop. The same shop that was the stage for the incident that occurred during last Sunday's club battle. What Xian was pointing at was a display with a plethora of adorable dolls that looked like sorts that girls would like. Why do girls like these kind of things?
Because they're cute. Don't you think they're cute, Keiichi?
I'm a man, I don't really get that vibe. Hell, I'm a man, I'd like you. Now, which one do you think is the cutest out of all these, Kei-chan? Xian pulled my arm and motioned the row of dolls. They were lined up like they were close sisters taking from every photo. A few of them seemed strangely familiar. I've seen those four over there somewhere. Well, I guess they really are famous. Even if you know them. Xian sounded impressed. These are the new dolls that they just brought from England. They still have some available here, but some around the cities they have trouble keeping them on the shelves. Though it's supposed to be inexpensive, it seems like they're starting to come to a premium item. I guess girls still like these things even as they grow up. Of course they do.
Depends on the person, but I think that girls who don't like dolls and stuff are pretty few and far in between.
My tomboy of a sister said these were adorable.
Oh,
Mion said they're adorable. That is pretty amazing. That's right, I just remembered. The store owner gave us one of these after the Sunday's event. Except for Mion, who was a relative, everybody else had gotten something. I really do think that one's the best. That frilly dress really gives it something. That's it. That's the one the shop owner gave me. So it seems. Shion replied softly but clearly. Uncle Yoshiro gave out those thanks for the help in liven up the Sunday event. It seemed he gave them to the 4 friends my sister had brought along. So you got the doll with the rest of them. What did you think? It was really cute, right? As a man, there's no way I'd think it was cute. What did you do with the doll? I wasn't really going to do anything with it, so I gave it to someone.
There it is. There it is. To who? As Shion laughed, I could hear the audible click run through my head, like the piece of a jigsaw puzzle snapping into place. Yeah.
Thank you very much for today, everyone. You made the event turn out great. It's not much, but here's the extra for today. Aw, Uncle Yoshiro, isn't there a little something for me too? My, quite an adorable one, is it not? When Sadako and Rika-chan opened up their bags, there was some cute stuffed animals inside. Whoa, they're so cute! I can take them home! I really can? Actually, there's something for me too. Whoa, I got a pretty adorable one. Stuffed toy wearing a beautiful dress, one of those you used to play house. Rena's eyes were glued to my stuffed doll. Sadako's was the same, and Rika-chan too. I see. It wasn't just Rena, Sadako, and Rika-chan. There's one other person who seemed jealous.
Kei-chan got the one that fits him least. Not wanting her expression to give it away, she had said it to hide her embarrassment. Well, I guess it's cute and pretty, and I can admit it's adorable, but a doll with changeable clothes is, you walk around with it, you'll be treated as a weirdo starting tomorrow, definitely. Mion's usual teasing way of talking. I looked around to see who I should get the doll to. Mion was right in front of me. Mion was the only one who hadn't received a present, so I thought about giving it to her. But I didn't. You gave it to Rena.
Huh? You're giving it to me? To Rena? Thank you. Turning away from Mion's covetous gaze, I gave the doll to Rena. Mion's smile bore into my back. There was no way I couldn't have noticed. Why did I not give it to Mion? Since Mion was the only one who didn't get anything, wouldn't it have been a standard practice just to give it to her? At that time, I noticed something was wrong. That's why I said it. Just protecting myself. If I had given it to Rena, then walking the street as it would be scary. No doubt, no doubt. Thought about giving it to Mion, but it just didn't feel right. Something dark flickered briefly in Mion's eyes, but at the time I hadn't noticed it. I had thought to give it to Mion, why didn't I? You know it. Sometimes I wonder why I was in front of boy. Mion herself said that with a laugh, so I didn't realize I had hurt her. That's right. Mion was more suited for cool things, so I think having you help out here was the right choice. Shion and I was probably thinking she misheard me. That uniform would never suit somebody like Mion. But if it's Shion, I think it works. You mean that? Shion, like Rena, often does space out and turn bright red. Mion seemed really happy. She seemed happy that I complimented Shion. That didn't suit Mion. It suited Shion. Saying that it suited her seemed to make her happy. And Mion's younger twin sister. She's got a different personality, but she's a dead ringer for Mion. That's right. We look similar, but our personalities are completely different. I'm very kind and thoughtful, and Shion has cold and scary personality. Again, this is also a very clear sign of foreshadowing. Because we didn't see cold or scary coming from Shion yet. Keyword is yet. I think that when you guys were born, Shion got all the feminine aspects. Unlike Mion, she's cute and cheerful. Mion had a strange face that was both angry and happy at the same time. It seems she was happy that I said Shion was cute. Sneaking a look inside the box to say that she just put some leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside. Is it really okay? There's not like a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything? Jeez, I'm not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing. you don't like it, you don't have to force yourself. Let's go home and eat it myself. I'm not my sister. That is how she said it. Shion was insistent that she wasn't Mion. See, she was saying that she was Shion and that I shouldn't think of her as Mion. When Mion was Shion, it carried a special meaning. Michan is very mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's what Rena said. But you see, even that Michan is really feminine. Rena, how much did Mion pay you exactly? That's not true. Geez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know. Rena began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Michan is the club president. She's trying hard to lead everyone. She's really a very cute girl. I really don't want to forget that Keiichi-kun. There was never a riddle to begin with. Rena was saying the right answer from the beginning. So then, I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah. I know Kei-chan didn't mean anything wrong. At least he didn't intend to. Yeah, Keiichi isn't the type of person to hurt others. So there's no reason for you to feel hurt by this Michan. What was it? Frustration? Sadness? I don't know it all. Did you want it? The doll, I mean? If you gave it to me, Rena, that wouldn't have solved anything. You're right. How about this, Michan? Try asking Keiichi-kun. Maybe I'll solve the problem if you tackle it head on. There's no way I could do that. Is it too embarrassing to do it now? I want to try again, as somebody other than Mion. So I can be more honest with myself. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty fond of the relationship I have with Kei-chan. This might be selfish, but one more time. Kei-chan will definitely notice. I wonder if that's true. Rena will cheer you on too. So let's find a way to ease your sadness. Believe me. I won't let anything happen that'll make you cry, Michan. I believe. Kei-chan will definitely come to understand. He'll say sorry for something so callous. Then he'll bring you back to that store and buy that doll for you as a present. Yeah. Then Michan, you'll say thank you. You can't fool around. Say it honestly. Yeah. Jeez. If I said I wanted Kei-chan, would you buy it for me? Mion said it quietly during her best to quell her embarrassment. Shouldn't you say Shion there, Keiichi buddy? I would have reflexively begun to lightly tease her to hide my embarrassment. But like Mion, I quelled that impulse. Okay, Mion. As thanks for everything until today, I'll buy you whichever one you want. My voice cracked without unfamiliar words. In order to not lose Mion's trying her best, I tried my best as well. But I'm not Mion, I'm Shion. Shion then. I'll buy it for you, Shion. Shion looked down red-faced. She pointed at the doll of the dress through the store window. Oh, that is a good track. Is it really okay? The one in the dress is a little expensive, isn't it? This isn't a matter of price. This is a matter of feelings. When I was saved by Kei-chan from those unsavory customers today, I was really happy. Even my coworkers didn't save me. Kei-chan did. Grabbed me by his shoulders and really firmly right then, you were really cool. Even then, I was so embarrassed I couldn't properly express my gratitude. I clapped my hand down Shion's head and ruffled her hair roughly. Like how I would to Rena and the others. I did that, Shion, like Rena, would have spaced out and blushed slightly. I don't think too hard about it. I should have given it to you back then. If I did that, then everybody would be had a good laugh. Shion didn't respond. She just turned bright red as she was trying to hold back the laughter and tears. I'll go buy it for you right now. Wait right here. It's right there. I'll go with you. Saying that, she grabbed her onto my arm once again. So she wasn't trying to be stoic anymore. I think I know why my sister likes you. Hey, is this alright if I start liking you a bit too, Kei-chan? The unfamiliar situation made my head spin. What am I? I had reached my limit. Smiling wryly, I hid my embarrassment and dragged Shion in the store with me. Excuse me, I want to buy that doll in the dress in that window. After a moment, I heard a voice acknowledgement, and an apron-clad employee soon appeared. Kei-chan! Why are you here?
There it is. The proof that it wasn't bullshit.
I'm on a date with Kei-chan right now.
What? Why is Kei-chan? Even if you ask why, I'd like to know the answer myself. Mion looked at me with this expression of confusion and surprise. But that was the same with me. If she was there, then who was next to me? God damn it, Kate, she just messed up. I said it right at the beginning. I'm Shion Sonozaki, my sister's younger twin. Kei-chan, you even called me Shion, didn't you? Shion said that, pouted cutely. Well, what's going on here? Tell me, Shion. Not much. I was wondering what kind of person this Kei-chan you were so infatuated with was. So I have to give him a ticket to the dessert festa. Then when I was being bothered by all sorts of troubled customers, Kei-chan gallantly appeared and saved me by kicking them all off the curb or something like that. What? Both Mion and I raised our voices pathetically, expressing our confusion to the utmost. Mion, you phoned me yesterday, right? I didn't. I have no idea what you're talking about. I delivered that bento for you, didn't I, Kei-chan? That was me, right? Or was it my sister? The person you know as Mion Sonozaki put together a bento and bravely went to the boys' home. Deliberate, maybe. Oh, you're a lot bolder than you look, sis. With a loud pop, a trail of smoke began to rise from Mion's head. No, I don't know! See, Kei-chan? My sister said she doesn't know. So everything up till yesterday was me, Shion Sonozaki. I thought it was my sister pretending to me, but there is no doubt, right? I couldn't tell up front, from that moment. If there was a mirror around, I would have seen my eyes go wide from shock. Now, little Miss Shopkeeper, could you wrap this doll up the window? The first present for the person I've come to love, make sure you tie it up nicely with a ribbon. Mion, completely flustered, was being cornered by the sly-faced Shion. There's the cruel personality. My brain had stopped working. Yeah. Hey, Chan. What is going on? Well, let's go. Hey, Chan. It's already dark. I will see you home. Sis, so sorry. Could you phone the house and open them yet? And have them send out a car. Maybe a van that we can fit a bike into, please? In contrast to Shion, who had "Lee" written all over her face, Mion was an empty shell. It looked like she'd burst into tears at any moment.
Okay. Yeah.
After that, Mion's grumblings were unrelenting. Has anyone noticed the horrible thing that Shion has done to her sister yet? Yep. Oh, a new tip. Oh boy. Oh, I love that. Not easy being green. Figure out the twins. That is a lovely trophy for this moment. Okay, this one's about Shion. Stop saying it's been a while. We've seen each other every day until yesterday, haven't we? Whatever. If you say so, we'll just go with that. Someone from Shion's house has come to get to me in a station wagon. I'd initially refused, but Shion insisted, so both my bike and I ended up stuck in the car. Oh! Also, yes, both Mion and Shion are loaded because they're the richest family in the entire village. Said car was currently driving across the single bumpy road heading to Kinozawa. For goodness sakes, Shion was at Mion's level at least, or maybe a better actor. Either way, no matter what questions I pressed her with, she'd slip in and out of them like an eel.
Still, you two look so alike. If you tied your hair back like Mion does, you look exactly like her. Who knows? That's probably what would happen. We're identical twins through and through. In the past, we could change our clothes and no one would be the wiser. Remember, we swapped places at every opportunity to fool a whole lot of people. So they have been switching with each other in the past and present for lols and giggles. The middle-aged driver wearing a black suit heaved a heavy sigh like he were a butler. I get the funny feeling he is. What's wrong, Kasai? That's a pretty deep sigh. Excuse me, I just think you haven't changed. You could see many years of hardship on that man's face through the rearview mirror. This is the best music in the game. Anyway, Kei-chan, your house was around here somewhere, right? Kasai doesn't know much about Hinozawa aside from the road that goes from the Sonozaki main house. If you leave it to him, he'll take you all the way to Yaguchi. I don't want that! Excuse me, can you stop that narrow road to the next right? I'll walk from there. He stopped the car at the desired place. Driver Kasai-san got my bike out of the trunk for me. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for showing me home today. Was it Kei-san? Your name, that is. Yes. You must have been having various difficulties, but I must believe she will grow tired soon, so please endure things until then. He gave me a deep, deep-looking look of sympathy. This guy's definitely been dealing with Sonozaki sisters ever since they were kids. Yeah, that should be telling on how screwed Keiichi is right now. However, like Mion-san, she's the kind of person at heart, so that means she'll be as much of a bother as Mion, right? The man's face froze in a smile, his reply lost. Hey, back me up here. Bye, Kei-chan. We'll see each other again soon. So, say hi to my sister for me, too. Maybe I'll start going to Hinozawa tomorrow. Don't you dare. If you transferred in, I transfer out to a school in Okinawa. Wow, that's really mean, Kei-chan. A short beat of the horde, the man gave me a wave from the driver car seat. Then the car withdrew into the dark night roads, leaving dust in its way. Man, this entire day makes no sense. I ran into Mion while I was with Shion, and the former expression like, "Hey pigeon," shot with a pellet gun, had finally begun to make a strong impression on me. So that was the tips. That was surprisingly plot relevant. Save. I want to see if this starts the next scene before I go make dinner. A late dinner. The next day was a strange day where Mion was desperate to regain her composure. Every time our eyes met, she would say that she had something to do or that she had to use the washroom and run off. Unable to watch, Rena was taking care of her the entire time. Mion, she's acting totally strange today. And we will drop save here. And with that relaxing track to come back to later. Okay.